From the Mac of All Trades studio in Fairport and driven by Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, it's Billified, the Bill Moran Podcast.
Well, hello and welcome. Thank you for getting your pod on. Thank you for telling a friend. That's how we spread the word about the pirate ship. Laura's here, and we just find out that her birthday's Monday, and Greg's coming in, and there's a big birthday thing going on, and
I'll be there.
Yeah, I know. And
I'm out now.
And I wanted to talk about that, and then just as we're coming on, I'm getting, I must have gotten maybe 15 long messages from listeners asking about my opinion about the McQuaid situation. And McQuaid is being sued by a former student for harassment that they said was swept under the rug. They were called names and bullied and pushed around. And
I've seen that episode of Law and Order SVU.
And they're going
well.
And they're saying to me, well, you know, these are schools for privileged white kids. What do you say to that? Was one of the things. And I go, I'm not going to comment on shit I had nothing to do with. This kid graduated in 2022. It is now 2024. He is now suing. I don't know what that tells you. I don't know. I have no idea. I can't say one way or the other. You can have PTSD from things. I have no idea. My son went to McQuaid. To me, it was the best investment I made in my child.
Are they lumping Aquinas and Mercy into this privilege?
They are throwing, yes.
They clearly they don't know me then.
They were all
clearly
listed.
not privileged.
They were all listed there. You're a Mercy, right?
No, I was not. But my boyfriend went to Aquinas, and he is not a privileged white guy.
Well, what they're saying is you got an opportunity, and somebody else said, look, New York State, they can hide things from New York State and sweep this stuff under the rug. Well, let me bring something to your attention, folks. Nobody knew about what was happening in Wayne County where kid was getting drilled in the ass by a broomstick until it became a criminal complaint. The only way you found out about that, it was a criminal complaint. Therefore, you get the information. You can foil it, and you can get it.
We can go back to Hilton, too. How long was that principal in charge of the school around the corner from me before they said, hey?
Until it became a criminal complaint, the school anywhere doesn't want that heat. They don't want that smoke, baby. They don't want it. So to say that McQuaid swept things under the rug, I can tell you this. My kid went there. I know a lot of things that went on, and I thought they handled every single thing during his tenure wonderfully. I couldn't think it was better. I saw somewhere that somebody said, well, they're just letting boys be boys. I disagree. I think they're teaching young men. But most of the people, as a matter of fact, anybody who sits behind a microphone and has talked about it, I guarantee has never had an experience with that school, has never paid a tuition for a child to go to that school or Aquinas or Mercy or anywhere. And so therefore, to me, what they say holds no water. So if you want to get all swept up and have a knee-jerk reaction to what people say, fine. Look, this is a private matter that I don't know enough about to really comment on, and I'm not going to tell someone that they shouldn't have trauma over something, but I do think that it's curious that it's 2 years. I think that that's something that you have to take a little bit into consideration.
Have I had concerns over things that have happened at Aquinas? Absolutely. Sad way they handle some things, yes. But at the end of the day, I'm glad both of my children have graduated or are currently attending. I'm glad I went.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Carrie's glad she went.
Yep.
The rest of our family's glad they went.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah.
We're not privileged in any particular way. We just, for me, my boys went because when I looked at Greece, and I saw 35 to 40 kids in a class, and I saw Aquinas, and I saw 15 kids to a class, I'm like, my kid's not the greatest student.
Yeah.
And I figure with 15, he's going to be more noticeable than 40, unless he's causing a ruckus, which he's not going to do because he's going to get his ass beat by me if he does.
I'll just say one other thing since you brought it up. My kids were in the Pittsford district, considered a fantastic district. I saw this one particular kid who just graduated college as a student athlete. I saw him getting things like, Dad, don't worry about it, Jordan, hand it in tomorrow. You got A's, you got A's, you got A's. And I go, I used to say to his mother all the time, the margins need to be tightened on this guy, and McQuaid will do that. And the amount of work that he had was incredible. I can't say that the work was any harder, but the amount of it, I know by talking to other parents, was significantly more. Significantly more to the point, it's a prep school.
I think it prepared Sam more for college. I mean,
yes.
I never thought until last year Sam was going to go to college. I just figured he'd go get a job, which is fine.
Yep.
But he's like, I'm ready to go. And I mean, going to Aquinas, his grades from Greece elementary school to middle school to high school, they went up.
Yeah.
Senior year, not so much.
That's senior year.
But, you know.
A good education is so important. But, like, there's going to be bullying no matter where you are.
Right.
And it's learning, you know, what's the lines with that. But going to Wayne, like, my whole family.
Oh, God, that's right. You're 3 and 5.
I am. But my whole
Where the cows bully you.
My whole family went to Webster except for me.
Uh-huh.
Even my cousins who were in the exact same grade, one of the things that I still struggle with was, because I graduated high school in 2003, was computer technology.
Yeah.
Because Webster learned it. Webster had computer ed classes, and Wayne didn't. And then when I went to college, I felt like I was so far behind my peers because I didn't know anything about technology. And still, like, I'm in that age bracket that I should understand it.
Yeah.
And I hate
It's changed drastically. It's changed drastically since I went. I mean, just I stuck with band just because I can't draw for shit. I was not going to do art. Tyler comes home yesterday and says, I think I'm going to do photography next year if I have to take art. I would have loved photography.
Yeah. Sure you would have.
Just the things that they have there, that like the photography. They have digital printing and stuff like that. All sorts of cool stuff.
I know the idea of, and probably, excuse me for saying it this way, McQuaid more than, and Mercy more than other private schools seen as elitist because it's all boys and whatever. You know it. You know it too.
Well, that's why there's no stairs in McQuaid, because fairies can fly.
And then Bishop Kearney. So Bishop Kearney tried to recruit me for soccer growing up, but my mom couldn't afford.
Yeah, but there's scholarships and things. Whatever.
But
right.
But bullying is going to happen no matter where.
What I was going to say is one of the things I always liked about McQuaid was there was no trying to impress a girl, right? Making fun of someone to impress a girl. At least in school, it was academic learning. Was there competition? Yeah, it's testosterone. It's boys. Shit goes on.
Yeah.
I can tell you that something happened with my son, and it was not something that I would be very proud of. And McQuaid called and said, let us handle it. And I said, okay.
Yeah.
And he had what their version of detention, they called it. It's not. It's called justice under God. And you don't sit in a room and write or do anything. You actually work. You have to set up for assemblies, break stuff down. There are jobs, and you're working the entire time. And I thought that was great. And I said to his mother, he's not in trouble when he gets home because it's being handled.
So that's what got him into McCarthy, huh?
Yeah, maybe setting up chairs, breaking down chairs, doing all that stuff. Speaking of your birthday on Monday, Greg's going to be in here in a little while. There's a big party, and it's open to everybody. Saturday night, I said it wrong in a video I did, but it's Saturday night at Iron Smoke Distillery with Trist as the band, and it is a fundraiser for Autism Up. I have some concerns about this a little bit. I talked to Kevin about it earlier today. And it has nothing to do with anything. It's more logistics and things like that. But I'm getting the impression, at least from you, that Greg is looking to be roasted a little bit. I don't know why that is.
I just kind of, it was a message that I got. He didn't come out and say it, but he kind of implied it a little bit when I started being the dick that I am.
Yeah.
And I don't think he discarded it. And then all of a sudden I think it morphed into.
So let me just say, the Tom Brady roast, fantastic. Now everybody thinks they can roast. We've mentioned on this podcast that Greg wants to be roasted a little bit, but haven't said it a lot.
Makes it easy.
I have people emailing me roast jokes that they want me to throw in, and some of them are so fucking mean and horrible, I wouldn't say them.
Do they know Greg?
I might, though.
A little bit. Like this one says, your employees must get sick of hearing you utter the phrase, as a former defensive back, every morning after a Bills loss. I mean, you don't hear Tom Ferris breaking down film of your commercials telling your employees, as a former hair guy.
I like that. That's not mean. That's more a shot at Tom.
Okay.
But I think Tom can take it.
Greg, if every day is your birthday, then every day must also be Tom Ferris having to clean up after a parade. Is that funny?
That's very funny.
I like that one.
All right. I don't think even Connors and Ferris would advertise everywhere until I saw a Connors and Ferris badge on the wreckage of Steve Barnes' plane.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, these made me so uncomfortable. I go, no.
That's deep, but that's funny.
Yeah.
In a roast setting,
But
in a proper roast setting, that's very funny.
Do you understand that this is like an Autism Up fundraiser? It's not a
That's what I'm saying. In a normal roast setting, that's very funny. If we were doing the roast of Greg Connors all night long, that would play
if it was
all
just
day.
For his birthday, yeah.
Remember the scene when OJ got off and Robert Kardashian was standing right next to him? It must have felt real good watching the trial with Jim Kelly when he nudged you and said, "That'll be us someday."
That's funny.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
I think Greg would like that too.
Greg, your mom says family members try speaking to you in Irish, but you only hear them in Italian. I think it was the other way around. But which makes your clients' lives difficult when they hear crickets in the court while you're hearing cha-ching. It's another one that I go, I would never.
Yeah.
Who knew Danny had these kind of writing jobs?
How did you know? This is him.
Shut up.
Yes.
Oh,
These are Dan's?
Yes. 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 So I wanted to do it before I got here. Because some of them I go, oh my God. Congrats on your son Luke getting into Alfred. Now you have to come to Fisher and watch the Saxons lose at least twice. It must have sucked hearing Terry Pagula wants to sell a quarter of the Bills for about the same price he paid for it 10 years ago, while the price you offered won't even cover your season tickets in the new stadium. But I hear the Barnes family might be looking for some help in their personal injury case. That may be your ticket.
Jesus.
That's too long.
Yeah, there's some that I just was like, all right, I can't.
I wrote the one that I felt like a dick. Danny just took it to the house. Gronk spiked it, picked it up, and then spiked it again. I only wrote the one that I know we can't use.
Yeah.
And I sent it to Greg because I'm a dick and that's how I am.
Are there people off subject?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are.
Okay.
There are. And actually there was someone at this table, not me, wrote a really great roast joke for someone who's off limits. That involves someone off limits.
We'll read it off air.
So good. So good. Well, all right. I wasn't going to use any of Danny's really because I thought that some of them hit too hard, and I'm not sure.
The first Barnes one, it's not for that. It's not for that. But
the plane one was my favorite.
I don't know who's writing for Danny. It must be Beth.
He wrote some good stuff. He writes some good stuff.
Maybe he can use them in the Times of Wayne County next week as the training camp preview.
I don't know, but my concern is that it's not really that kind of a setting. So
that's why I didn't go as dark with mine.
I was trying to keep them a little bit lighter.
I didn't go as dark. I didn't bring murder in any of mine.
No. So well,
I'm excited for Saturday.
Saturday will be a lot of fun.
What time are you going to do your set? Because I had been messaging with
TBD.
Greg.
I think like 8:15, and the band goes on at 8:30 or 8:10.
Yeah, because I know doors open at 7.
Yeah,
I'll be the big guy up front heckling Bill.
Because I think the band is doing sound check. I was told right up to their go time.
Oh.
So then,
okay.
But see, this is where like. I always just figured, tell me where I need to be, and I don't want to sweat this stuff. But at the same time, I don't. It's
Well, that's my group of friends that's coming. I was like, they're like, what time do I get there? I was like, I don't know. I'll ask Bill what time he's doing
if we're pushing a little later, then I might not skip I was going to skip part of Tyler's game because it's going to be a shit show anyways.
Yeah.
But if it's going to be pushing later,
I would say go 7. Show up by 7:30. You should be fine.
Yeah.
I should pull that off.
When is the the Real Housewives of Webster coming?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I'm bringing the group.
Hoop earrings? A lot of hoops? We getting hoops or what?
My biggest hoop girl is going to be in Canada.
Shit, man.
I know.
We wouldn't allow her in anyways.
No, well, not that hoop girl.
Carrie started looking at hoops the other day in the store. We were in one of the stores in Connecticut. She's like, I'm like, no. No.
Yep.
Nope.
Come on.
No hoop.
I will, maybe I'll bust out some hoops. But yes, the Webster crew will be coming.
Okay. All right. Message in regarding the McQuaid situation. How can you not say it's privileged white people? You know it is, Bill. You just don't want to admit it. I have nothing to admit. I just think if you're sitting behind a microphone talking about this, you don't know all the facts, and it's people who have never had an experience with these schools, so they're just projecting their bias and that's shitty. And they're the same people that are going to bitch about the fact that the news is biased and this is biased. You're coming with a bias automatically by saying it's privileged white kids and it gets swept under the rug. That's bias. Show me any school, anywhere, public or private, that wants to have a lot of smoke because something bad happened. And there are two instances. We brought them both up, one in Wayne County, one up in North Greece, and neither one of those wanted, or Hilton. That was Hilton, excuse me.
Still, the school's in North Greece.
But they don't, nobody wants that smoke. And it's not like they're trying to sweep it under the rug. These became criminal cases, and they let the law handle it. If this was to that offense, do you think McQuaid has the power? No, they don't. They certainly would bring it to that level.
And Aquinas has a lot of kids from the inner city that just didn't want to go to the city school district. They have a number of kids that come in that would be in the city schools.
Right.
And, I mean, you can't say privileged white kids when you've got inner city kids in there.
I see what you're saying. All right, we'll take a moment. There's an ad that has been circulating around social media, and I'm curious to get, I guess I already know what Laura's going to say. She'll be cool about it. She'll be like, yeah, it's fine. I don't have any problem with it. But I think that this is an ad that, well, we'll get into the details of it. But it's for Aston Martin, the car, but they're used cars. We'll get to that next. But first.